Hey guys, it's Read Aloud time. Spring according to Humphrey. We are almost done with chapter 12, and the kids in Mrs. Brisbane's class, they are working on their family trees. They're also really watching these signs of spring, so they're seeing birds' nests and baby birds and eggs, and they're watching the tadpoles in their classroom kind of evolve and grow into frogs, which is really cool. And they're also planning for the family fun night where they're going to do animal acts. So the last thing that happened was Cassie got through her math test and her stomach didn't even hurt. So that was a really good thing. So let's keep reading and see how Mrs. Brisbane and her crew continue to do. All right, here we go. At the end of the day, Mrs. Brisbane made an announcement. I think some of you know Aldo Amato, our nighttime custodian, she said. He's Richie Rinaldi's uncle. Yay, Richie, I squeaked. He was one of my friends from last year's class. Aldo's wife just gave birth to twins, Mrs. Brisbane continued with a smile, a boy and a girl. The boy is named Marco, after Aldo's father. The girl is named Anna, after Maria's mother. My friends began to clap. Marco and Anna. I didn't clap my paws, but I loudly squeaked, yes, yes, yes. As they filed out of room 26, I heard my classmates buzzing about the new babies. They were as excited as I was. As soon as the classroom was empty, I jiggled the lock that doesn't lock and scurried over to Og's tank. Marco and Anna, I squeaked, a boy and a girl. Boing, he replied. Then I glanced over at Flip and Flap, swimming in their aquarium. They were also twins. I'd almost forgotten that Aldo was my old pal Richie's uncle. Was Og really an uncle too? Suddenly, it seemed as if everybody in the world had a family, except me. I wasn't sure whether Aldo would be coming in to clean that night, or if it would be Bob or some other stranger, but I wanted to make sure Gigi knew about the twins. So I took a chance and slid down the table leg and raced out of room 26. Gigi was still awake when I made my way up to her cage. I'm glad you came, Humphrey, she said softly. I wanted to tell you that Aldo's wife, Maria, had twins, a boy and a girl, I said. Twins? Gigi seemed confused. I explained that when humans have two babies at the same time, they're called twins. Oh, Gigi said, that's very good news. And that guy who came in to clean last night, he's just filling in for Aldo, I said. Oh, Gigi repeated. I was a little scared when he came, but he was nice. I'm sure Aldo will be back tonight, I said. Gigi moved a little closer to me. Humphrey, I'm worried about something. What's wrong? I asked. For the circus night, Miss Mack told us that our booth is called the Clown Toss. Are people really going to throw clowns? That doesn't sound very nice, she said. It didn't sound nice at all. Throwing things at people or animals isn't nice at all, especially if the people are funny and like to make people laugh, like clowns. I think she might have been joking, I said, or maybe you misunderstood what she said. Gigi nodded. I hope so. And something else. The children want me to wear a clown hat, but guinea pigs don't like to wear clothes. Neither do hamsters, I said. I think that's because we're already wearing our fur coats. Gigi giggled. You always make me feel better, Humphrey. I was glad I'd made Gigi feel better. But I didn't feel so great myself when the door opened later that night. I was looking forward to congratulating Aldo, but instead, Bob was back. Me again, he said as he pulled his cart through the door. Hi, 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 I said. Even though I was disappointed, I didn't want to hurt Bob's feelings. He dusted for a while, and he remembered to give Og and me our treats. I told my kids about you, he said. Now they want a hamster and a frog, too. Boing! Og sounded pleased. Bob was an unsqueakably nice human, but I still missed Aldo. I wondered whether he was ever coming back to room 26, and if not, why hadn't he at least told us goodbye? That night I had a dream. I don't remember it very clearly, but there was a large, soft, furry creature who smelled wonderful, and I was snuggled up against this creature, along with some other small bits of fur. I felt so peaceful next to her, and I heard her say something to me. "Remember this," she squeaked. "No matter where you go, you'll always be my special golden boy." I woke up with a start and squeaked, "Mother?" The only answer was Og's loud boing. "Sorry," I told him. "I think I had a dream about my mother, and some brothers and sisters too." "Boing," Og replied. I didn't tell him the rest of my dream. After all, he probably didn't remember his mother and father at all. And he was green, not a golden boy like me. Humphrey's spring things. I felt a little sad to see no branches on my family tree. Poor Humphrey. We're going to keep reading. It's chapter 13. It's called Step Right Up. "Let's get our act together," Mrs. Brisbane said the next morning. "We need to make our final plan for Family Fun Night. Here is a list of what some of the other classes are doing." Then she read from a sheet of paper. Clown toss game, pizza booth, juice and water booth, circus crafts, tightrope walk on the balance beam, popcorn and cotton candy, elephant rings, circus twirler craft, ticket booth, hula hoop competition, face painting, balloon animals. She stopped reading and looked up. "We need to tell Mrs. Wright exactly what we're doing." "Eek!" I squeaked. Was Miss Mack's class really going to toss clowns? Wouldn't rings for elephants be large? And balloon animals were bound to pop and make a lot of noise. I wasn't the only one in room 26 who was confused. "Are they really tossing clowns?" Daniel asked. Mrs. Brisbane smiled. "No, of course not. They have a big board painted with clown faces. There are openings where the mouths are, and people throw bean bags to see if they can get them through the clown's mouth. No actual clowns will be harmed." My friends laughed, and I was relieved, to say the least. Helpful Holly waved her hand, and our teacher called on her. "What are elephant rings?" "They're this big." Felipe held his arms wide apart. "No," Mrs. Brisbane laughed. "It's a ring toss game. You have to throw the ring and get it on an elephant's tusk." "A real elephant?" Cassie looked very, very, very nervous. "No, I think they're made of clay," Mrs. Brisbane explained, "and they're not quite as big as real elephants." Then she asked us if we were ready to go ahead with the maze and leapfrog games. "I guess so," Thomas said. "If we can't do the tightrope walking." "We could have a hamster toss," Nicholas suggested. Just Joey raised his hand. "I liked the idea of hamster obstacle course." Most of my friends nodded in agreement. "I liked the idea of the leapfrog game," Sophie said, "and of the adults competing against their kids." Most of my friends nodded again. "Boing, boing," Og said. "Very well," Mrs. Brisbane said. "Simon's mother has kindly offered to head up a parents' group to build what we need." "She's a really good artist," Simon said, and Mrs. Brisbane nodded. "I'm sending a note home to your parents explaining the whole thing," she said. "Oh, and if your dad would like to juggle for us, Sophie, that would be wonderful. But no knives. I think Mrs. Wright would faint." Sophie looked as proud as Simon did. "May I be the ring mistress?" Rolling Rosie asked. "Oh, I want to be a ringmaster too," Felipe said. "I'll tell you what," Mrs. Brisbane said. "I'll make up a list of jobs and then we'll draw names for them. It's a long evening, so we'll need several ringmasters and other helpers. But will there be a job for Og and me?" That'll be really fun to see if Humphrey and Og get to actually be part of the family fun night. I hope they do. We'll continue reading on Thursday. I know today's Tuesday. We'll read on Thursday and we'll see what's going on. All right, I hope you have a great day. Bye.